I didn't know every time, you know, I bought a certain pair of Nikes, they were attached to a story. My favorite
Mm.
TV was
Yeah.
a story.
Mm.
You know, the books in schools were stories. I never really thought about it as a profession. I just thought
Yeah.
about somebody sitting on my block or somebody in my projects just yapping. And, you
Yeah.
know, they making that little trip from here to the corner store sound like they went to Disney World and back.
What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to a very special episode of MSR, interview-only episode of MSR today. Paul Span's going to be joining me in just a few minutes, and we have a very special guest. We're going to jump right into it, man. We got author, artist, activist, Be More legend, D. Watkins in the building, man. We sat down with him for a few to talk about all sorts of stuff. We talked about Baltimore. We talked about quarter zips. We talked about it all, man. Great conversation. I can't wait for you guys to hear. We're going to jump into that in just a second. Before that, though, please, guys, thank you for supporting the show. Please continue to support the show. Follow us on all platforms, okay? MSR Tribe on Instagram, MSR Tribe on Instagram, the MSR Pod on TikTok, Mindstream Radio on Facebook, okay? Remember to subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, comment, do all of those things, share the video, please, okay? And if you listen on podcast platforms, remember to rate and review the show. Remember to comment on the show, share the show. We appreciate you guys. All right. Without further ado, we're going to jump right into it, man. My boy D. Watkins is joining the show. Yo, man, it's an honor and a pleasure to have, I'm going to go ahead and say the legendary D. Watkins in the building, man. Thank you so much for joining us, bro.
Nah, man, thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me, man. How y'all doing out there?
Man, we cooling, man. We cooling. We're going to jump right into it, okay? We're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about Baltimore. Paul made fun of me because I got to talk about David Simon and the why. We're going to get into all of it.
I have a good story about him and that, D.
Hey, listen, we're going to get into it. But one thing we got to start off with is I'm going to start with a compliment, all right, brother? Like, you are a very fresh brother, okay?
Let's go.
Me and Paul like to consider ourselves, dapper ourselves, but you a dapper brother,
we keep
all right?
it Dougie.
You know what I mean? You're a sneakerhead. We appreciate all of this stuff, right? One trend that's been going on that we got to ask you about, okay? We got to ask you about, man. The quarter zip trend that's been going on, okay? We have opinions on it, but I wanted to ask you just in general, what do you think about the quarter zip trend that's been going on? And for the audience, just real quick, that may not know what we're talking about is I'm dumping the Nike Techs. Kids are dumping Nike Techs for quarter zips and matcha drinks and, you know, this whole aesthetic. What do you think about that, bro?
Dang, man, you know, now the way you phrased the question was like the first, like now the other side of my brain is working, and I'm like, yo, wait a minute, like, is it like some respect? Is it a respectability thing behind it? And like disguised as like a quick little joke, you know what I'm saying? Like we back on them games.
My brother.
That's why we fuck with cuz, because that's exactly where we was going with that. So we did a show last year on my older podcast about the whole black men in suits trend. You know, like when it happens, it pops up every couple of years. It's like whenever there's something going on, it could be anything, right? Some organization decides, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but some organization decides, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get a bunch of young brothers and the whole church or the whole organization, whatever it is, we're going to go and we're going to walk around and we're going to show off that we wearing suits. And I think the whole concept and the thought behind it is supposed to be, we can look good too. We don't have to look a certain way. We dress up. We can get ourselves clean. And it's usually like a 6-year-old boy out there, and then it's like an 80-year-old man and a bunch of young dudes. And it's like we breaking the stereotype. So that respectability politics, it's funny that you went there so fast because that's where we wanted to go with it. And I know a thing with you is the imagery of black men and especially black boys and how we view our black boys. Just what made you think about respectability politics when we went there with the quarter zip thing?
You know, I feel like I'm in a space where I'm so locked in on what I'm doing that every time something goes viral, like my mind, it triggers my mind to say, "Oh, that's just lame. Oh,
Yeah.
it's lame." Like don't
Oh
pay it.
my God, bruh.
Like my daughter 5 years old, right? She's 5 years old, and we on the airplane, like literally, like we another story for another time, but we
Yeah,
just
it's all
got back
good.
from Qatar. We just got back from Qatar, but we on the airplane and she's 6'7", and I'm like, come on, Cross, that's lame. Other kids say that, like, what you bringing to the comment? I'm saying I don't want to hear nothing from no type viral. I don't want to hear that. Like I want only new ideas.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. That 6'7" thing is hilarious because my niece, we were coming from a spot and my best friend's daughter, my niece, kept saying 6'7", and she was responding like 6'7" is like a replacement for anything. Like, what you doing tonight? 6'7". It's like, what? So yeah, it's like on one hand, P, kids are gonna follow trends, and we talked about this a couple of times in our group. Like, it's like on one hand, it's a trend. I'm not upset with anybody, but I'm less worried about kids following a trend. Just kind of like they said, come on now, be yourself, blah, blah, blah. It was how the adults were reacting to the quarter zip thing. Like, oh my God, see, you know what I mean? Like the kids going, there we go, get rid of those Nike tech suits and put on the quarter zip. Oh, I'm so proud of them. And I felt a little way about that. I can't even lie to you, bro.
Yeah, they got a plant, man. It's COINTELPRO, man. He's sending somebody to the hood with quarter zips, passing them.
Yeah.
You know, we from the street. We gonna swag anything.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank you, D. Thank you, bro. I mean, there was a young lady on Instagram that she did a poor job at explaining what she was trying to say, because out the gate she was attacking black men over the quarter zip thing, but she was addressing respectability politics, right? So I made a comment on there, and I was trying to explain to the mass of people about respectability politics, bro. When I say, I'm talking about, I got notes from Bamas in Africa telling me that I'm a disgrace. I really mean that, saying telling me that's why Native Africans don't mess with Black Americans and all this other stuff. And I'm trying to explain. And I said to one of them, I said, bro, I'm gonna be for real with you. What you're saying to me is a part of what I'm trying to explain. But it's so far gone, and something that you speak on a lot, because I watched your interview with the Griot, and I'm gonna terribly quote you, but you're right here, so you can quote yourself properly. You made you made a reference to how when we didn't have actual power over ourselves and the diaspora, what was going on, but we do have individual power over our households. And what happens is we inherit the larger part of patriarchy, and all we do is distribute it on a smaller scale in our families, right? When I heard you say that, it made me think about what was happening on the internet when I'm trying to big up my brother. And I told him, I said, bro, I'm lifting you up. All I'm trying to explain is we don't have to conform to other people to make them feel comfortable about us. That's what I'm trying to explain. But they still couldn't receive that. Like it was kind of crazy. It's kind of like we were running in a wheel, because I want to explain, and then at the same time, where do we go? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man, you know, like something that I always try to do when I'm in rooms like where people who don't look like us is not in there. You know, one of the things, and even outside of that, when I'm in front of, whatever, my aunt, whoever, like just across the board, is like, you gotta stop writing people off and putting people in boxes. You know, sometimes the dumbest dude got the suit on and the smartest dude in a sweatsuit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can't, like, don't, like, you getting tricked out of potential friendships, allies, business. You getting tricked out of all these different things because you trying to put people in boxes, and then you got this greater, society, like you said, pushing the whole this article of clothing makes you better. We know historically it doesn't necessarily work like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
Bro, our president, the president wears a suit every single day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every single day. And is one of the biggest morons in life.
And I think it's more about like more than the suit and the quarter zip, and more about like the image
Ideology.
of, yeah, for sure, the image of black men in particular, right? I think one of the things I really respect about you, D, is that you're well accomplished. Obviously, I mean, you just told us you just flew back from across the world, right? Like, you're a well accomplished brother. You're a New York Times bestseller. You know, you're a TV writer. All of these things, but your aesthetic still represents you. I'm not even going to say it just represents black man, because black men come in all shapes and colors and
Mm-hmm.
clothing styles, right? But it represents you. When I see you, I think about Baltimore. I think about so I guess my question is to you. I'm not gonna ask you if you're doing it on purpose, because I feel like you're just being you. But am I correct in saying that you're intentionally trying to be you when you represent and when you're in spaces?
I don't necessarily I've never felt fully accepted in those spaces.
Mm,
So I would feel like a fool. And yeah, that's why I was talking about
yeah,
like my neighborhood. I never really felt fully accepted in those spaces. And I haven't felt accepted. I mean, definitely not by like big corporate white publishing, but
yeah,
elite black publishing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah,
I've won some of the
Mm.
same won some of the same awards that they won.
yeah,
And you know, I pop up at I frequent some of the same events,
yeah,
and you know, we share stages like, you know, in promotion and selling of different things, or at universities trying to spread ideas. But
yeah,
um I've been personally told um by other writers who I respect,
yeah,
the conflict and like why, you know, it's a pedigree thing. I come from
yeah,
where I come from, and other
yeah,
people come from things that they deem more honorable. So they
Mm,
you know
mm,
they
mm, mm.
label you as such. But I got thick skin, man. I
yeah,
got real thick skin. Like I don't rattle easy. So you know,
yeah.
it's come with the game. So you know, some people they catch that,
Mhm,
especially if they don't got that back, and then they fold and they start
Mhm.
writing and they start working. And it's like
mhm,
I ain't doing that.
yeah,
No, I respect exactly what you're saying. Like Adam and I, over the years, God has blessed us to do all sorts of things. We've been, invited to schools to do different things. And one thing that we always go through and we project is like something that Adam said, is simplistically being ourselves. Be your
mm,
and we teach more along the lines of character over over anything else. You know what I'm saying? Over just the excuse me, we talk about, we build up their character over anything else, over what now mind you, none of us are saying that you shouldn't be presentable, that you shouldn't look nice. But like Adam said, that comes in all forms. And I wish that adults would peer more into whom children are, as
yeah,
opposed to what they want them to look like, to look good to other people that in truth and honesty don't even matter to our community.
yeah. And like, I think about you, brothers like our brother Jason Reynolds,
Mm-hmm.
Tony Lewis, people who I think not only are you all like revolutionary writers and revolutionary activists and people within the community, but your representations for the next generation of black people. But like I said, young black men that will look at someone like you, Tony, Jason, whoever, right, and say, like, yo, the aesthetics look cool, but they're writing. You know what I mean? Which is
Mm-hmm.
cool, great thing to do. But I think you would understand, like, we all come from similar environments where, like, the dudes that had money in their pockets around us, they weren't writers, they weren't, educators, they weren't, maybe some of them may have been activists, but mainly they was dudes in the streets or dudes that was hustling and trying to figure it out. And for a long time, that's the thing we had to look up to. So I think it's important to have that aesthetic. And we used to say this a lot when we used to visit the schools often, is that like you can look at someone like me, especially if you're a young-minded 13, 14, 15-year-old kid, 10-year-old kid, you're going to look and say, yo, I can aspire to be that, because you don't intimidate me. You look like someone that I know. I know that guy. You're just doing something different that I didn't think I could achieve,
Yeah, and you know, I think we were getting into a space where we were moving past that, but it's like
Yeah.
if you look at the trajectory of this country, everything's going backwards. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Everything's going backwards, and you know, it's the hand we dealt right now. You know, it's the hand
Yeah.
right now. We got to play it like we always played it.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. So let's talk about you for a second, man. You're from Baltimore. Um, Baltimore, you know, when I think about you, I think about Baltimore, right? Like you represent hard. How did, and you probably gotten this question a billion times, so forgive me. How has Baltimore shaped you and your writing?
No, that's a great question. I think Baltimore is a tough love city. So in some cities, you know, I've been in cities where like, you know, the whole city would get behind like a rapper, or the whole city would get behind an artist, and they'll that energy to propel that artist. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole Philly was behind Beanie Siegel before he signed to Rockefeller. Everybody in LA was like, you know, letting Dre and them know, like Kendrick is that guy. So it's like I seen cities, you know, from that underground to propel people. And in Baltimore, we don't love you until the world love you. You got to go get it from the world first. And then we sit back and say, oh, all right, now you're good enough. And I think as a writer, I'm super resilient. Like I work every day like I never did nothing in life ever. You know what I'm saying? Like I act like I don't
I like that.
do anything, you know. So I think being from this city is you know, made me resilient in that way too. I'm not going to get in a conversation about some, you know, I'm not going to be running around telling people about some shit I did 10, 15 years ago. Cause it's like, you know, what you got out now. You feel me? So it's like kind of thing.
Well, please allow me to say, I'm sorry, Adam, go.
No, please go. You got it.
Please allow me to say a couple things. For one, I personally have a love-hate relationship with Baltimore, considering that the Baltimore City Police did this to my lip and did that to my teeth. You know what I'm saying? So I have my own relationship. And how do you manage, man? And how do you manage to say two so eloquently?
No, you had to do it.
I don't know. I think so you know it's crazy because it's like it's a kid out right now that's like really internet famous with his like own language.
Right. Yes.
You know, I mean, and you know, he's funny. He's hilarious, right? Every time I see him, I laugh. But you know, I'm only saying this because I go to a lot of different cities, and people are like, "That's how y'all talk," and I'm like, "Nah, that's something that he does for him. That's his like
right.
Like, it's a bit. Like it's not like you know, it's not a real thing. You know what I mean? It's like
it can't be, bro.
You go to the Bay Area. You go to the Bay Area. E40 a legend out there, but everybody can't talk like 40. Like it don't. But I think the traveling, man. I think my accent. I think my accent pop out when I get really really upset, or if I'm home around.
You know, comfortable.
Just move. I mean, just moving around, and then like you know, I had like different levels of like media training and all kinds of shit. So it's like you start to, you know, I ain't gonna say an anchor voice. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
No, we know exactly what you're saying. Listen, Adam and I probably couldn't go maybe 7 or 8 stanzas without saying young.
About as easy as it gets. For sure. I've seen articles and interviews where your writing is described as your superpower. I want to know how you discovered writing and how you fell in love with that.
I think I fell in love with storytelling first. Like I didn't know. Like I didn't know every time, you know, I bought a certain pair of Nikes, they were attached to a story. My favorite TV was a story. You know, the books in schools were stories. Like I never really thought about it as a profession. I just thought about somebody sitting on my block or somebody in my projects just yapping, and you know, they making that little trip from here to the corner store sound like they went to Disney World and back. You know what I'm saying? So I know I used to sit on the block. I used to fall asleep outside when I was like 8, 9 years old because I was so scared that I was gonna miss something. You know, so I think I've always loved storytelling. The writing part came from me like later in life. And it's funny because I can take it back to the moment where I was in the hospital and I was having like a little procedure done from like a flesh wound I had, and this nurse comes in, right? It's always a girl, but she comes in and she's like,
always,
you know, like she's like that. And I'm like, I just straight try to get her phone. I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, what shit, whatever. And she's like, I don't date thugs. And I'm like, I'm not a thug. And she's like, all right. And she's like, how come everybody who come in here who come to see you smell like weed all the time? And I was like, they got cataracts. So she bust out laughing. She didn't give me her phone number, right? So whatever, I'm in the room all day, my little medicine, little morphine pump, all that. I'm cooling. She come back later that night when the floor slowed down, but this time she got a book in her hand. And I'm like, she's really into it. And I obviously try to press up on her again. But then I'm like, I never really seen anybody like young, black, like, not my neighborhood necessarily, walk around with a book stuck to their face like that. So she went
That's so interesting.
Yeah, and she went to college, so it's like, she finished college. She's at work reading. Reading sound like work. So I asked her about the book, and she was like, "You would like this book because it's a book about thugs, right?" So I said, "What's the book?" And it was the coldest one ever. So I read that joint, the Sister Soldier joint. I read that joint, and that led to me reading everything Sister Soldier ever wrote, and that led to me reading her influences, like getting into the Toni Morrisons and James Baldwins and the Audrey Lloyd's and all that. So it's like I'm now moving time. Then I move from time to start reading like the contemporaries of her influences. So that's how I'm falling across Kurt Vonnegut, and I'm falling across like Fyodor Dostoevsky and reading books like The Idiot and the Gambler. And now I'm sitting on my block reading Russian literature, and all of this shit is like the snowball effect for me trying to get a nurse phone number.
Wow. Wow. That's so awesome though. Like that is so awesome.
Yeah.
In that process, I started reading the local paper a lot. And I was just like, like, wow, man, Baltimore Sun is kind of a shitty paper, man, because it's like when they doing them white perspective, you can tell they really, really, really at home. And I'm getting a better picture of what they going through, what the stories about, what's happening. And then when you get to something focused on a black person who's not like, a politician or like a, professional, rich, whatever, then you're not really getting, you making up our language. You're not even like, you quoting shit and people don't even talk like that. Like I know
don't even talk like that, right?
Yeah.
So for me, with all that reading, all that studying, one of the things I just picked up on was the best critique is creation. Don't run your mouth about something, make some better shit. So that's when I started trying to write and trying to like submit. And I always tell people like I publish in the New York Times before I publish in the Baltimore Sun. Because Baltimore's a tough love city. You gotta go do some shit extra nowhere, especially if you black, before you come home. So that's just, I understand that, and I don't get offended by it.
That's interesting, bro. All that from trying to get a nurse number, though.
Yeah. Now I feel like I owe her some bread.
You got right. For what they call it, intellectual property.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the back page for real. For sure.
Right.
She didn't get that number out.
That's all right though.
Hey, but it worked out well though. I mean, who knows what happened if she would have, just gave it up off break. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It was like a disgruntled baby mother.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But like Adam said, bro, you are well accomplished. I don't know if is it 5 or 6 books under your jacket?
I have 8 books out right now in the world.
Okay.
7 got my name on it, 1 don't. I've written about 15. Then worked on some shows, did some stuff for HBO, documentary.
Right.
But and I'm super blessed. I don't take nothing for granted, man. I'm just blessed that I get to make a living with words and do this every day.
Yeah. Mike,
go
ahead.
No, I was going to say, man, because I got to go there, right? Paul's laughing at me earlier, you know what I'm saying? The Wire is obviously, I know you didn't work on The Wire, but
me and David Simon got a book together though. We did the 20.
I was going to.
Yeah, we.
That's where I was going.
We know.
Yeah,
you beat me to it.
We know.
You beat me to it.
I wish I was a writer. I wish I was a writer when The Wire was up, but my fault. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. You 100% fine. You took me right where I wanted to go because I want to talk about We Own the City. We want to talk about your book with David Simon, but also I just want to start with like because if you are a person like me in The Wire and Treme and all of the stuff that David Simon did, right, of HBO work for sure. Big fan of that gentleman. So I'm wondering, like, how did you connect with him? And how did you all start to develop We Own the City and get that work done, the documentary and all of that? I know I'm not sure the documentary he was involved in, but
Nah, it's funny because they was beefing. I was in a documentary and I was on a show.
Yeah.
And the show and the documentary was beefing, conflicting ideologies and all that. But
yes,
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I met David, and this is actually like this is a good story when people just think like this stuff happens overnight. Like I've had projects with David that was supposed to that he was get behind, or that he was actually doing for probably like no bullshit. Like I met David in 2015. We didn't work on anything together until 2022. So that in 2015.
Wow.
2015, no, my fault. 2014. 2014, I published this essay called Too Poor for Pop Culture. And a lot of people read it, and David read it. And David, he got like a weird email that's like not his name. Because he rich and all that. So so he emailed me like, yo, I know them voices, I know these people, you got a real talent. You got a real talent. If you ever want to work in TV, hit me up. And at the time, man, my money was super funny. So I had
right.
This really Simon. I said, man, let me know what I got to do to get down. I need a piece of all that, man. Shit.
Yeah, right.
So he's like, he don't got anything.
My man said, house tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. You tell me to get with you, I'm gonna get with you. So he's like, yo, I don't have anything at this moment because they was like they was working on the New York joint, the Deuce. They was working on the Deuce.
Yeah, the Deuce, yes.
On the Deuce. And then he was like, yo, but somebody from The Wire who's this a guy from Richmond named Chad Coleman. He played Cuddy on The Wire.
Yeah.
He was working with some guys out in St. Louis, out in Ferguson. On a joint. So he was like, yo, he needs somebody to write the script, man. I can't think of nobody better than you. So I'm like, damn, he only read, probably like good 4 essays from me. He vouched already. That's, so I'm gonna hold it down. So I ended up going out Ferguson with them for probably like good 2 weeks. Did all this shit, all this writing to kind of find out that these motherfuckers didn't have the rights to the story. So I like, I was like, at the time I was starting out and I needed the bread. So everything becomes more anxious. So when people waste your time, you get like after you do some stuff and somebody waste your time, you might be upset, but you might be like, you know what? I'm gonna disconnect. Back then you ready, man, you ready to dump the ass. Like
right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. You obviously well accomplished. What for young writers that may be on the come up, formally, what did you have to go through to get to the place you are? Was it formal schooling? Was it writing school? Was it just your natural talent? Like how did that come about?
So that's a great question. One thing I will say is that to be, and I don't think I'm great, but I think I'm on the path to becoming great. Like I work at it every day, and to get on that path and to try to be great doesn't necessarily require college. But I'll tell you why. Why I got an MFA. So, do you need an MFA to be a great writer? Absolutely not. An MFA is not gonna make you a better writer.
Right.
It's not. You get it for the connections. You get it for recommendations on shit you'll never find on your own. You get it so you forced to write every day, every week or whatever. But the main reason you get it is because it's a terminal degree, so you can teach. So like, if I wanted to teach in the field of education, the terminal degree would be the EDD. So that's a doctorate, right? If I wanted to teach whatever, psychology, sociology, whatever, the terminal degree is a PhD. So
right.
In creative writing, So so that's a bachelor's, a master's, and then your doctorate. Sometimes they combine them. In writing, a terminal degree is an MFA, so it's less school. So I'm saying, as a you're not guaranteed to make it, so you need to go, okay, I'm gonna get money as a teacher, and I'm gonna get money when I publish, and I'm gonna get money when I do this, that, and the third. The professor's a very easy job for a writer, because one, we get to talk about writing is what we love, but two, you work from maybe 2 days a week, from September to like the first, I just saw my last class tonight is December the 8th. So
wow.
September to December, and I'm off until, February, and then you get off again in May, and then I don't got to go back to the fall. So in those blocks, I'm writing, or while I'm at work, I'm in the office. I was just working, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the office right now. So it becomes that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's great information to dispel.
I'm about to say, it is real.
Right.
That's really right. So my fault. So my fault. What I meant to say was, the secret is to write every day and to figure out, not only what's happening, what the market's calls for, but also, who is your favorite and how can you expand and build on that. You could do that shit going to the library. You don't gotta go get an MFA. However, the reason why I went and got an MFA is because I know I need to make money. So starving artist shit was like not something I could ever. I'm not. It's not romantic.
Right. Yeah. That's an important part of the conversation.
Hey, look, I got a family. They right in the other room. I just heard them tiptoeing around outside the studio. Okay. I run a podcast network for my 9 to 5, and then I do this. And we do well with this, and I do well there, because, like you said, man, I think that's great advice for anybody. If you would ask me, I would tell you, fund your passion. You know what I'm saying? Fund your passion. Like be responsible. Go out there, do what you got to do. If you're lucky enough to work within your passion, and then also do your actual passion, do that. But fund your passion. Like you said, you don't got to do the starving artist thing, man. You don't. I feel like you're more clear minded when I got something. You know what I mean? And I can fall on this, and I can, and I'm cool. I can pay my bills. I could do X, Y, and Z. Sit out here just hustling and bustling and like, stressing. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, it don't work in our culture.
Yeah. I know.
I'm gonna tell you this, D. Firstly, I'm happy to be speaking with you, but I'm also happy that you exist, and I'll explain to you what I mean by that. We obviously, passion is a very important thing, and obviously being as good of a person is an important thing. Adam and I have been doing different things in the podcast world and in terrestrial radio and all sorts of things for 20 some odd years, right? We've never overtly focused on making a whole stack of money, nor have we to this point made a whole stack of money, right? However, I think that when you have people like you who come from certain areas, who have had the ability to what's the proper word, to be amongst, like you were talking about with Mr. Simon, be amongst people that have all the money, and that whose lifestyle is slightly different, but still be able to be yourself and show, and even the information that you just dispelled about what it takes to be a professor and all those things. Like, I think it's just so important for people like us and you as a template to look, man, I can still be myself. I still know how to make money. Don't get it twisted. I know how to make this proper legal money, but I'm still myself. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's important, because we've been trying to dispel that message, bro, for years. And then it's just important, like Adam keeps talking about, for guys like Jason Reynolds, for this imagery to be seen, and so it can continue to inspire. Like you said, we've seen a redaction in the world over the past year. You know what I'm saying? So I think your existence, Adam and I's existence, and other people like that is just so important for ourselves and for the kids that are coming up. And I appreciate that, and I thank you for that, bro. Really.
Man, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for that, man. I'm thankful for even like they my dogs, man. Like Jason and Tony, man. Like Jason showed me, but Tony first for sure. Like showed me like a different DC. Like he was like first. he took me to the old. He the first one that took me to the old manifest and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
saying like, and Jason showed me how to move throughout the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Jason got the publishing
and
game.
he's always himself
For
wherever
sure.
he's at.
For
Yeah,
sure.
People
For
and the
sure.
kid, but you know what though, man? And the kids know, man. The kids know, man. I'm sure when y'all was going in schools, man, I'm sure them kids they was happy, man. They felt
Yeah.
I used to go to DC schools all the time, man. I would hear like the kids would be like, yo, you know Tony? And I was like, yeah, man, that's my dog.
Yeah.
So it's like they know that you being yourself, your true authentic self is the greatest way to respect another person. It's the greatest way to respect you, giving them you. That's if I don't
come on, bro.
I don't respect you, I ain't gonna give you nothing. But if I respect you, then I'm gonna show up as me, and I'm gonna respect you for showing up as you. And we here, you feel me?
Yeah, it is, bro.
And we can bridge the gap in between all that other stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, it is, man. There it is, man. Hey, one more question before we let you go, brother. And it's about the future and what you got going on. What's next for you, man? I know you got a lot of things cooking. But just what's next for D Watkins, man? What can we look forward to?
So I'm in a ghostwriting space right now. Just writing books for some celebrities and all of that. A few years ago, I got a chance to collaborate with Carmelo Anthony for his book. Me and Carmelo, his creative director Kalelo, the three of us, we just curated the House of Mello in Baltimore. So
I saw that. It's so awesome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So if anybody can get out and pop out to that, man, because we was able to again, connect his story with literature, not just the book that me and him got out, but the books that has been talking to us for the last 15, 20 years. And then to put all his old Jordans, his actual jersey, the ball he scored 62 points with, the draft suit, we got all that in the library. We quadrupling the traffic and bringing in people who never thought, and we're showing them that, the library is yours too. And we're not just talking about basketball. We got the business, we got the all of the legacy stuff, the philanthropy and all of that. So we're telling the whole story, man, because a lot of times they'll give you the part, he hooped and he went away. But like we got to hold each other down, man, because we all do more.
I love that, bro. We appreciate you so much, man. Hey, we appreciate you, like Paul said, we appreciate you doing what you're doing. And we appreciate you coming through to the show. We love to talk to you again, man. But thank you for taking some time out to talk with us.
I'm gonna try to reach out to you personally, bro. I got some ideas. Yeah.
For sure. I'm around. I'm around.
All
right, thank you, man. Y'all be safe, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, brother.
Shout out to D, man. Listen, the conversation was great. We hope to have him back on, man. Very intriguing brother, very smart guy. And it was just great to have him on, man. Big shout outs to B More, big shout outs to D Watkins and everybody involved. Yeah, man. So we're back in a day, actually. We're back in it, like probably by the time you listen to this show, our new episode will be out. We'll have the whole crew when we talk about a couple of things. We're trying something different this week. We're going to give you 2 shows this week, all right? Then we're going to have a show next week, and then we're going on our holiday break. We'll be back in the second week of January, all right? And we're going to have some cool stuff coming up next year, but not going to do a lot of bragging. I made the mistake in the past. I'm not going to do a bunch of telling you guys what's coming up. Just know, stick with us, and thank you all for sticking with us so far, all right? Remember, rate and review the show. Rate and review the show. If you listen on podcast platforms, remember to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. It really, really helps out. All right. Follow us on social platforms, MSR Tribe on Instagram, Mainstream Radio on Facebook, the MSR Pod on TikTok. We're active on all of them all throughout the week. Thank you so much. Appreciate you all. Appreciate all the love. Remember to be great. We up out of here. Peace.